Yeah. And my dog misses it. And he's trying to do what he used to do, but he used to have so much. He used to come down here, and he used to bounce. No, okay, bounce his handball along the path, and climb up. He used to climb up on the wall there. Now we have to get a wheelchair for him soon. Should never have moved. I should never have moved from this area. I should have actually argued the point that this was an extremely familiar area for me. I shouldn't have moved out of it because, as per the injuries I've sustained, there's a lot of, it's familiar to me and so forth. So it's like my home. It is pretty much my home. I mean, Jesus Christ, back and forth from this area for 26 years. Well, I've lived around this area, close, whether it's, for the last, 26 years of my life. So, anyway. And I barely lived where my mother lives. So where my mother moved to, I barely lived there for 6 years. And then apart from that, it was the suburbs of Sydney. So, but when I was, in the year, again, you're right, Bakshi? You know where the car is, mate. All right, he's like, I know where the car is. I'm making a big line. I'm too old. Oh, I'd say, shouldn't have moved. Plain and simple, should never have given up the apartment while I was living here. And the simple reason, I should have been argued the point, I had sustained injuries, and this was a very familiar area to me for a very long time. And in the year 2000, and including 2001, up the road in Edgecliff, where I used to stay at Lloyd's place. Now, I haven't seen Lloyd since 2001, but I was always in this area, which is why in 2012 I was predominantly looking this area after I moved from Surrey Hills. And I lived in Surrey Hills for one of the longest period of times in my life as well. So then I was like, okay, this is all familiar to me because, that's what I needed. And again, this can be so confirmed. And I've been asking just to have things verified because there was a lot of wrong information getting spread over the years. I'm like, okay, but I was already in this area, back in the year 2000 and 2001, living or staying and so forth, And as I said, so I met Lloyd Mileski because in the year 2000, Andrew Rodder was very temporary at his place and then moved out. So Greg Saunders, who's from New England, who lives in Canberra, he knows who I'm talking about when I say Andrew Rodder. Andrew Rodder is from Tamworth, and he was living down here in Edgecliff at just temporary, very short period of time at Lloyd Mileski's. And then that's how I met Lloyd, and Lloyd and I become really good friends. And we didn't fall out of being friendship. I just got so busy with work and family, mainly because I was always, with my grandparents as well, that it was just work and family, which is really sad because he was actually a really nice guy, Lloyd. And when Amanda and myself was traveling around the US in January and February 2001, when we were in LA, Lloyd told me to look up his nephew. So he's a bit more facts as well. Lloyd Mileski's nephew was a DJ in LA back in 2000. God, I've got a good memory. Back in 2001. Anyway, we did call him, but we didn't catch up with him. So yeah. Lloyd was fantastic. And I have not seen him since 2001. Even when I moved into this area back in 2012 and lived here for a very long time as well. So I don't know what happened to him, but yeah. Should never have moved. Should never, ever, ever have moved from this area. Should never have also affiliated with people that I did, or been too kind to certain people that I was, which has caused damage in my life. But yeah, I love being back. So my poor little dog, who's now exhausted, aren't you, Boof? You done? Loves being back here. Every day. See, it was out. See, I just can't. This is home. This feels home. It's comfortable. It's where I've lived a long time. It's relaxing. If I could go back to if I could go back to 2015 and tie up some issues that were getting caused, I'd never move from here. Shouldn't have moved. I just should not have moved. Don't know why. Anyway, don't know why I did.